Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you.
And now your host, Mama Helen Oriche Jaffo.
Oh my God, it is still from Warri, Nigeria. This is Mama Helen and you. I am really excited about today. You know why? Because it's all about relationship. See, what it is that is needed, or what are those things that are needed in order to make relationships strong between a man and a woman, husband and wife. If you have not knowledge of the opposite sex, you will definitely have difficulty flowing properly. So, on Mama Helen and you today, we're looking at the topic, the things women need to know about those men out there. I'm sure the men out there are really excited. It's about you after all. Back in a moment for Mama Helen and you.
A true man is any man 18 years and above that is physically, socially, mentally responsible.
Is it a man that can withstand pressure from all corners, whether from the children, from the wife, from even himself, and the entire community around him.
Yeah. The topic we've decided to deliberate upon borders on men and women relationship. See, it's not good enough for you to be married to that man. There is a need for you to know about that man in order for you to have a wonderful marriage. Hence the reason for this topic, the things women need to know about men. And of course, deliberating on this, I have Mike Ayaoko. Mike Ayaoko is a counselor, is a married counselor, and I know that he's been doing this now for
22 years.
22 years, I would think. It's really a pleasure having you, Mike.
Thank you.
And the next to Mike is Dr. Michael Ekotobo, who is also a medical doctor. It's a pleasure having you here as well.
Thank you.
I'm sure some of you might be saying, oh my God, mommy is just surrounded with men here today. And I think that's where my excitement is, truly, because we're really going to be talking about them. I know women out there are itching to know more about the men in their lives, whether it's your son or your husband or your father. You want to know something about them. so that you can have a wonderful relationship with them. And so the first question here is, there are men and there are men, but who is the real man?
The real man is a man that can protect his family.
I love that.
And furthermore, is a man that can withstand pressure from all corners, whether from the children, from the wife, from even himself,
From people himself.
and the entire community around him.
Yes.
Maybe his neighbors, the office where he works, and all those things. And able to manage all these things and still come home and still play the role of a husband.
Of a husband, of
And
a
a father.
father, or perhaps an uncle,
And,
whatever.
yeah.
Fantastic. What would you have to say concerning this? A true or real man?
A true man is any man 18 years and above that is physically, socially, mentally responsible. Thank you.
I love that. Physically, mentally, socially. Fantastic, fantastic, responsible. In other words, it's not just because you put on pants, that Americans will call it pants, okay? It's not just because you put on trousers. It goes beyond that, and I think that's what we're being told here today. Because a lot of men, you know, well, let me put it, a lot of boys are masquerading as men. And but what we've been told here about the two counselors here today is that, of course, to be in one, you have to be sociable. You have to have the mental capability to being able to do that. And then you must also possess...
You must be physically
You
strong.
must be physically strong. So fantastic. Wouldn't you want to? We know the men are sight stimulated. For women, we're inward. I mean, inward in the sense that women are emotional. When a woman is in love, okay, she goes all the way to showing that love to her husband, or as the case may be. But for a man, something has to develop in order for him to be able to exhibit the word L-O-V-E. So, men, are they sight stimulated?
It's because you are looking at the responsibility attached to that love they're about to play.
So they have to calculate first?
Yes.
Okay, what are those things men look at?
One, whether they are financially buoyant, you know, whether they have all it takes to be able to approach a lady.
Okay, the aspect of being sight stimulated that I'm talking about means that for a man to look at a woman and say, whoa, she's got cars, she has this, I love her set optic, I love the way she smiles, I love the sight stimulating.
Thank you so much. You see, the marriage itself is an institution, and like any institution, it has got its ethics. There are principles that must be obeyed.
Obeyed.
Now, the structure of the woman, especially the young, succulent, now is given to her as a means of influencing, in this case, seduction. Yeah. Yeah, she's actually supposed to seduce
the man.
The man, and that's what she's giving. That's what is given to her for that.
To do
now,
so.
The man that needs a woman ordinarily must have gone through this institution. When you get to this stage of where you now want to do the marriage thing, then it is assumed ordinarily, like, so when you want to take...
You pull down all the things, how she must look. The woman of my dream,
yeah,
must be tall, short.
Yeah, it depends. First,
slim, fat.
To know the woman of your
Light, dark.
to know the woman of your dream, you look at yourself.
Okay.
Because likes begat likes.
So true.
Obviously, there have been a lot of mistake. You see a very dirty woman wants a clean man for her husband.
Doesn't work.
She make mistake.
It's
The value you place on yourself
yes.
is an equivalent value that you will get from the woman.
So true.
Yeah. So if you want the best man, build yourself. Place value on yourself.
Place value on yourself.
And not
as
on,
a woman.
And not on love. Because the man or the woman will meet you in the place of your assignment. And that is how it goes.
I love that. I love that. Now, Mike, would you want to say something? Because I know your wife is pretty. Don't tell me you were only speaking in tongues.
No. Actually, my wife is a friend.
I love that.
She's a friend, and what I actually cherish from my wife is she's industrious. Very industrious. And that attracted me to her. Until date, she's still industrious.
So that was what you saw?
You saw.
You didn't look at the face?
No, no, no.
You know, one of the things that
When
I've
one is in love.
one of the things I've discovered with our born again brethren is that they tend to forget that they still live here on earth. Sweetheart, you do not want to just blow in tongues and you get married to that girl, and then when you are in bed, you know, at a particular time in in the middle of the night, you turn on the light and you say, "Oh, Re Baba, Shandara Baba."
Actually, for example,
there is something you must have seen, because before you now painstakingly discover that she's industrious. What else?
Looking at her as a person, I was not moved by her stature, everything, but her Christianity background, because she was a Christian before mine. I was attracted by that, her commitment to God, you know. I didn't look at the stature, I didn't look at the cultural background or the tribe.
You just saw a woman and you picked her off. Fantastic. I think men like that are very rare. Clap for him. What would you call, I mean, put it this way. A man has a certain physique, so women, or the women as well. What are those differences in a man and a woman?
Differences in a man and a woman. Now, before that, let me make this 3 assertions.
Okay.
Maybe it will guide me along the way.
Okay.
First is that until purpose is known, abuse of it is inevitable.
I love that. I love that. I love that. No, it's going to shed. No, don't be lost. Don't be lost. It's going somewhere.
Secondly, is that when the desire is not available, you make the available the desired.
That's good.
And thirdly, the Bible said, in all thy getting, get wisdom and understanding. These are what will guide relationship. Every marriage is vested on something. The reason Mr. A got married is maybe different from the reason Mr. B got married.
So true.
And this core value that you have placed from ab initio, you must protect till the end. You see the curve of the lady, tall. You bring her in. After some time, she has lost that shape.
So true.
You see, the value you placed on that structure begins to wane out.
Dwindle.
Yeah. Therefore, whatever it is that was the core of why you went into relationship, you must protect it. And Mama, I must confess to you, over time, I have been observing you from afar. After Esther in the Bible, you are somebody that everybody should look up to as a role model, especially the ladies.
Thank you very much indeed.
Because some of the problem in marriage is caused by sex. You know, by nature, men, the way I look at it, we are polygamous by nature. We want to have as many women we want. So, but because of the love of Christ, that's why we are compelled.
One of the problems that actually destroy relationship borders on sex. And because we are Africans, we find it difficult to speak out. Yeah.
So true.
But if you go deep down, they will tell you. That's why in defining a true man, I said he must be physically strong.
What are you say? We no sabi dance. We get swagger and we sabi bounce. After all, we are the children of the Most High God, created to shine at the home and abroad. So no lily, no shaking. We the fire they go, no stopping. We love God, we know the door low, and we hold our side, they not be small.
I wanna lift my hand. Tell me what you gonna do. I wanna lift my hand. From my back audio. I wanna lift my hand. He done do well for you. I wanna lift my hand. You never shout to you. I wanna lift my hand. He give you many blessings. I wanna lift my hand. And a divine protection. I wanna lift my hand. He put food on your table. What do you gonna do? 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 I can picture you on the beat. What do you gonna do? What do you gonna do? I wanna lift my hand. Tell me what you gonna do. I wanna lift my hand. From my back audio. I wanna lift my hand. He done do well for you. I wanna lift my hand. You never shout to you. I wanna lift my hand. He give you many blessings. I wanna lift my hand. And a divine protection. I wanna lift my hand. He put food on your table. Said what you gonna do? I wanna lift my hand. Said what you gonna do? I wanna lift my hand. Everybody, I wanna lift my hand. Said what you gonna do? I wanna lift my hand. He done do well for you. I wanna lift my hand. Said lift your hand. I wanna lift my hand. I wanna lift my hand. This is the well master.
A man could meet a woman and says, you know, and I'm generalizing it now. I'm not just focusing it on a born-again Christian or a child of God who has a fear of God at heart and all that. But a man could see a woman and says, no, I don't think I can, this is marriageable for me, but I can take her to bed. Is that possible?
Yeah. And
in defining purpose.
It's very popular. It's very, very possible, and it's been happening over time. Now, the woman may be beautiful. The man is attracted. Now, the man wants sex. The woman needs money. The man will make all investment to get sex, after which the love that the man has professed before now ceases to exist. Therefore, having studied Esther and saw it in your own life, I realized that in guiding this relationship, these issues of authority, influence, submission, and love are very key and strategic in the institution of marriage. It is wise for you to know when to function in an office at any point in time. Let me use Mama as an example here. Mama's husband is a pastor and the father of the church.
That's the truth.
And is still the husband of Mama.
So true.
Mama knows when to address him as husband and knows when to address him as a pastor.
So true.
And that was what Esther did too in the Bible.
Fantastic.
Now,
fantastic.
Some women may miss the mark by thinking that because they occupy this level of authority, for instance, as it concerns some establishment around you, I know you are the boss. That is authority. But when it comes to your matrimonial affairs, you immediately take the office of submission.
So true.
So we should learn to know when to function in that office. Men hate to share authority with their wives.
Did you hear that? Men hate to share authority with their wives. I love this.
Esther was told that her husband have signed a decree that she should be killed and her people. And she needed to get to the king. What did she do? She took risk, entered the king's court. When she got to where the king was, instead of challenging the authority of the king, how can you do a thing like this? She adopted influence and invited the same man that signed the decree for dinner. You know, men likes food in the stomach.
Men likes food in the
Yeah.
stomach. Men don't play with what they
An
eat.
hungry man is an angry man. Yeah. You know, you can be blessed more when the tummy is full.
It's full.
Yeah.
And you can also produce the
Yeah.
blessing.
Yes, you remember Isaac when he wanted to bless his children.
So true.
He requested for food.
So true.
So
You're really getting
a
into
man
the
that comes back
nitty-gritty of
home,
this. Yes.
a man that comes back home, all things being equal,
Once it's
would have
food on the
expected that the food should be on
on
the
the
table
table.
at the time he was coming. And if by the time he comes home, that is when the woman wants to start
Start cooking.
preparing dinner, you know, every professed love will be fake at that
At
moment.
that time.
You
So
understand?
true.
Good. Now, the woman wants a man that she can be submissive to. It is not just by mouth. You must be able to show that you can protect the woman. And that is what women look out for a man.
So true.
Women want a man that can
Protect
guarantee their security.
Security. So true.
Whether financial security, security all around. You can't go with your wife outside and your wife is harassed and you'll be there say,
Smiling.
you know,
It is well.
it is well. Of course, by this time, you are no longer a man.
So true.
Yeah. And two, no matter the level of love too that is professed, if you don't have money,
It's a
the
problem.
love will not last long.
Oh,
So a man that is ready to get married must be financially independent. What attracts, I watched one of the episodes and you were talking of a mother-in-law ruining
yeah.
their home. What attracts extended family to making input in matrimony is when the family now starts relying on the extended family. For instance, the husband starts relying on the mother for finance.
Nice.
Then, of course, he that pays the piper dictates the tone.
That's a good
Do you
one.
understand?
That's a good one.
So every man must be financially independent. As
Yes. Go ahead.
As a medical doctor, women want a man that can guarantee their security medically. A woman wants to know more about the man. Mama, we have seen a lot in the short time of practicing. One of the problems that actually destroy relationship borders on sex. And because we are Africans, we find it difficult to speak out. Yeah.
So true.
But if you go deep down, they will tell you. That's why in defining a true man, I said he must be physically strong.
Fantastic. The man must be physically strong. Now, he said a lot. I mean, I can just listen, and I mean, he has so much to tell us today. It's obvious. Mike, where do you want to come in here? I mean, he's told us, you know, on the essence, the essence of defining purpose. When you see a young lady looking beautiful, but has no character, well, let me take her to bed, but definitely, it's not something to be considered when I'm looking at a woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with. However, the man also wants to be fed. He wants to come home and find his food on the table. He wants to come home, and the home is neat for him. Not pampers flying on the dining table, and literally picking clothes from the from the entrance into the house. You know, I was telling some people, I said, see, if my husband is coming home, okay, when I know he's coming home, when I know he's approaching, because we have a way of, you know, getting to know when he's almost close, okay? Knowing my husband too well, sweetheart, I will perfume my room 1,000,001 times over, because I know that my husband can pick up that smell from the gate. Just from the gate, he can tell you, you know. But most times, women don't know all those things, do they? And how do you advise them on the need for them to make their husbands, yes, comfortable?
The problem in this aspect is that normally we always tell the man to let the woman know what you like and what you don't like, so that you can be guided. But sometimes the men keep it to themselves and maybe abusing the wife that you are not like this, you are not like this. Normally, the first attraction for a man seeking for marriage is sex. And like I always tell every woman that when you are talking about marriage, be prepared for dose of sex, because in that you will produce children. In that you will find love in the sight of the man. Because some of the problem in marriage is caused by sex. You know, by nature, men, the way I look at it, we are polygamous by nature. We want to have as many women we want. So, but because of the love of Christ, that's why we are curtailed. We are suppressed of having a one wife. And if that woman is not careful enough, you lose that man.
I think they seem to be cracking up, yes. You know, most times, people always think it's women that are jealous because women have a way of expressing it, or should I say, showing their horn.
The truth of nature is that the woman is stronger than the man, medically and otherwise.
The problem with some marriages, it is sometimes the women are older than the man.
Okay.
And any marriage where the woman is older than the man, her sexual desire is not all that strong to the man.
To the man. Okay.
Mama Helen and Jew. Mama Helen and Jew. Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you.
And now your host, Mama Helen O'Reilly.